AITA for suing my girlfriend after she had my 1967 Impala project taken to the scrapyard? I'll try to keep this short. I had a 1967 Impala 4-door that I bought in February 2019. A couple months ago I bought my first house that had a 2.5 car garage. I moved the car in and started tearing it down for a complete restoration. I had the body in one bay and the chassis in another, plus the whole garage filled with parts. About 2 months ago my girlfriend came to live with me during this whole crisis and the whole time has hated that car. She wants to park in the garage, but I have 2 acres of land with a lot of nice places to park under shady trees, or hell, even in the barn if it has to be inside. I tell her tough luck, it's my house and it's not like I can just throw it back together real quick. Anyways, I was out of town for a couple days on a business trip for the small local company I work for. When I got back, my girlfriend was all smiles. Making me food all the time, doing all the chores, all that. Though maybe she just was happy to have me home, but then I realized that I didn't see her car in its usual spot. I asked her where she parked so I could make sure I mow that area and keep it clean, and she said not to worry because she parked in the garage. I asked how and she told me to go check it out. Turns out that while I was gone she hired some people to come over and move everything related to that car, including the drivetrain, body, and chassis and all parts, and take it to the local scrapyard. I was absolutely dumbfounded. I had spent over $11,000 on that car including new parts, services, and the car itself. I told her that I was going to be taking her to court for that and she brushed me off like I was being dramatic. I told her that it's done between us and to pack her things and leave. I admit I was really angry, but I did end up getting a lawyer, and as I have all the receipts for all that money spent and I have her on my house's security cam footage letting the guys in and watching them take it all, I think I can win. Her family and friends are absolutely blowing me up, saying it's just a stupid old piece of junk and that she cannot pay back all that money I spent, and that I should just let it go. But I have been putting all my time, effort, and money into that car for 1.5 years now, and goddammit if I am not going to get justice for what she did. AITA. Edit. Thank you all so much for the support and awards and everything. I'm glad I have some people on my side. I got a call from her mom about 20 minutes ago and she told me that I was ruining her daughter's life over a stupid car. I told her she ruined her own life. I've been gathering documentation and stuff and I'm about to head down to the police station and file a report, as suggested by Lots here. Once again thank you all. Update. Went to the police station last night, was told to come back in the morning. Just got back and filed an official report against her for grand larceny and grand theft auto. I showed them all the receipts I had for the car and the footage of her letting the guys come and take it, as well as the title for the vehicle in my name. They said they will be in contact with all 3 parties, me, XGF, and junkyard guys, soon, and they will hopefully be able to recover some or all of the car. Just have to wait now. Huge update. They found my goddamn car. The junkyard guys apparently were in the middle of hiding it when the police came to ask them questions. It was on a forklift and they were gonna put it on top of a pile of cars that was hidden behind more piles of cars. They said it was theirs and they had the title, but obviously didn't have the title for it, and since they matched the VIN on the chassis and body to the VIN on my title, it was obviously mine. I know at least one person there has been arrested. I think he was in the camera footage I talked about earlier, but IDK if it was the boss or whomever or even his specific charge. They also told me they would be looking into this specific junkyard for any other vehicles reported stolen. They said they haven't been able to get in contact with my ex just yet, but they're working on it. I am just so glad they found my car. Luckily I made quite an album of pictures detailing me tearing down the car, and so I can use that to prove what parts they had were mine, so I can hopefully get most or all of it back. Police haven't let me take it back home yet, as they say it is evidence or something, so hopefully I can get it back eventually. Thank you all so much for the support and advice. She's gonna be alright. NTA. Holy shit, definitely not the asshole. That's like your girlfriend selling a dog out from under you while you are on a business trip because she didn't like it. The audacity. If she didn't like it, she could have just ignored it. The most toxic part is that she sees no issue. Your property, your house, she throws it away? And if any judge knows the worth of that car, they would understand suing her for the costs. Let alone the time you spent on it. That's a hobby, and a damn good one. If she couldn't support you in your project, that probably would have been a red flag for anything you do later on. I think this is all justified. Edit. To add NTA. My husband has several old cars. I haven't seen the inside of the garage in 20 years. But he loves his hobby cars and I would never dream of asking him to lose one. I say take her to court. Be sure you sue for replacement cost. The Impalas are getting hard to come by and you may have to pay more than you think. Oh, and congrats on dodging the bullet with that one. If she pulled this crap in the first year. Just think what she would be trying after a couple of kids and 10 years of marriage. This. My husband has lighting and cameras for projects. He also has an old-ass computer, 70s. He wants to fix after watching a few YouTubers do it. Our second bedroom in our apartment is full of all his army gear. Have I touched the stuff? Yes, because it was a mess and I just organized it. He can find it in there now. Would I sell or destroy any of it? Hell no. This is not something a sane person does. Especially without the other person's knowledge. These are things where you make sure your son knows it's happening and both of you want it. Edit. Since I can't reply. My husband doesn't keep organized as he has PTSD, anxiety and depression. It's so severe he is unemployed. I gotta say, the ridiculousness here and on our relationships, as well as recent discussion on our flying about a woman who specifically wanted her husband's plane in the divorce so she could park in a place where he'd have to watch it deteriorate over the years has mostly convinced me I don't want to be in a relationship where they have access to my stuff. Furthermore, if they show any signs of not liking things, just get the fuck out of there. I'm all for giving people some slack due to coronavirus and all the craziness surrounding it, but this is really off the rails. Exactly. I'm not interested in cars, I only know what the Impala 67 looks like from Supernatural. I think it's pretty cool and obviously very valuable. Especially taking into account the sentimental value of the vehicle. But even if it was just a junk, it's still his and she's still in his house. I cannot believe that she was so insensitive with the person she is supposed to love. You probably think it has something to do with the show Supernatural, but no. When I was a kid my grandpa had one all-original that he bought new and when he passed it was sold off, but I loved that car so much I knew I was going to have one someday. His was a 2-door SS with the 327 and 3-speed, but the 4-door is more my cup of tea. NTA that is fucked up, and I can't believe anyone is defending that behavior. I mean, maybe if you were like married for years and that stuff had been sitting around for like 10 years or something and it was also her house, I could see an argument. But none of that is the case here. I would be livid. Wow, just wow. Yeah, unless she can get it all back somehow, she owes you. My parents have been married for 45 years, owned their home for about 42 years and my father has had a custom-built chassis in the shed for about 19 years. My mother hates it, and if she had it her way she would sell it in a heartbeat. But my father is adamant that he will build the car he wanted. She respects that and lets it continue to sit in the shed as a dust collector. I don't know, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say maybe it's possible that the guy's a little shaken up considering someone he presumably loved just ripped away as something that was really special to him? And maybe there's some other people involved that he was under the impression actually cared about him and now they're siding against him for his reaction to the situation. I mean, it's possible the guy might even be the least bit human? Crazy theory, I know. I believe it could be attributed to this bizarre concept called human emotion. I'm not really sure though, I'm just an idiot behind a keyboard. Edit. Hopefully before you respond. I don't mean this to come across as harshly as it does, at least not at you personally, so don't be offended. Your comment, specifically doesn't deserve such a cutting response, but it's coming from reading a lot of comments criticizing OP for even having to ask in such an obvious situation. I'm just seeing people acting like he's an idiot for questioning his reaction when I see it as a very human response to a complex and deeply stressful situation. Also, I'm a wee bit drinky right now. I hope you're having a nice evening and staying safe these days. NTA. You should rephrase to suing my ex-GF. She took something you loved that didn't belong to her and got rid of it because it didn't fit her needs. Absolutely ridiculous. It was your property in your house. All this over a place for her to park. Think about how selfish she is and hopefully you never get back with her.